And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks. And I want to share with you, my producer, Alex Payne, has told me that I need to tell you all we've kind of changed our time for the live streaming on Facebook. So we're not live streaming at 3 o'clock anymore. We're live streaming at 3:30. So those of you who are loyal watchers of Nancy's Neighborhood on Facebook, we will be streaming at 3:30. And I have two sets of guests today, and I'm excited to death about them because one of them I know, and I know how I'm going to interview him, and that's not a problem. But this one, this is Sergeant Ella Brock and Major Linda Quiet, and they are with the Civil Air Patrol. And Ella's a cadet, and Linda is a major. She's the head dog. So the first question I have is, what in the world is the Civil Air Patrol?
Well, the Civil Air Patrol, believe it or not, has been in existence since December the 1st, 1941.
Wow.
And the cadet program actually started October 1st, 1942, which actually allowed them to start training 15 to 18-year-olds for service during World War II. The Civil Aero Rescue teams actually were the beginning of the Civil Air Patrol, and they would fly from the coastal waters from Maine to Mexico looking for German submarines.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and
Wow.
there were roughly 69 members that were lost during World War II that were members of the Civil Air Patrol. So, actually, the Civil Air Patrol is America's most premier service organization. Although people don't know anything about us, we have about 60,000 members in the United States, and so far this fiscal year, we have been responsible for saving 150 lives.
Wow.
That's on ground search and air search rescue missions. We've participated in all of the hurricanes, post-hurricanes. We are now participating in the present area in North Carolina and distributing food and also taking high-resolution pictures from the air of the damage that's been done. So a basic tenet is that, let me say also, we have about 560 single-engine aircraft, so we're the largest single-engine aircraft owners in the United States. And we are we're auxiliary of the United States Air Force.
Okay.
And when we are activated to work with the rescue, we are considered part of the total force, the same as the National Guard, the reserves, everything. So the basic thing is to train not only adult members, also to train cadets in emergency services, aerospace education, and we teach a lot of different subjects from cybersecurity to search and rescue, GPS, radio operations, and for the adults, they do the same thing, only they get to fly in the planes. They can, if they're a pilot, they fly. They can be a scanner in the back taking photographs. They can sit in the front and also help operate the radios and do communications. So there's a lot of different things that can be done. And Sergeant Brock, I'd like her to talk about how she got to be a member and how she has been promoting up through the ranks.
Wow. Go ahead, Ella. Tell us about it.
Well, actually, I joined in November. So you have to come 3 times to a meeting before you actually can join. So my first night was an aerospace night, and we were making rockets, and we shot a couple off. And pretty much from that moment on, I knew that I wanted to join. After I did join, I started working towards my first rank, which is airman. What you do is you go online to a website, emergency services, e-services, and you can take a leadership test or an aerospace test, depending on what rank you're getting. For my first rank, I did not have to take an aerospace test, and then I have to take a drill test. If you don't know what drill is, it's just basic marching.
Oh, okay, like regular drill. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
After I passed those, I got my first rank as airman.
And so you started last November?
Yes.
And you've worked up to sergeant.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
awesome. Now, how many are in the cadet organization for the Civil Air Patrol?
How many cadets are in the organization?
Yes. I mean, locally, how many of y'all are there?
Oh, in our squadron, we have 16.
Okay, that's great. So tell me, how do you recruit, or do you recruit, or how does this work? If somebody sees this today and says, "Oh, gee, that sounds like fun," How do we do this?
Well, they can go to gocivilairpatrol.com, and they can look up a unit that's close to them and call the individuals who's listed there, whether it's the commander or it may be the cadet program commander, and talk to them, find out where the unit is located. There are different types of units. We're a composite unit, and we're located at 245 Sequoia Road Northwest, right behind North Lee Elementary School.
Oh, okay.
And we meet every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30. But ours has both senior and cadet members. There are units that have cadet members. They have a senior that oversees them, and there are units that have just senior members. And senior member means anyone from 21 on up.
Okay. So basically out of high school and college.
Correct. They don't have to be out of college.
Right.
But if you join at the age of 12, you can stay until you're 21 in the cadet ranks. And in promoting, and I know that Sergeant Brock will do this, she will make it to the cadet officer ranks. But they start out as a cadet. They work all the way up through Chief Master Sergeant, and then they go over to second lieutenant, and they can go on up to colonel in the cadet
Neat.
ranks. And it takes quite a bit of work for them the further they get up into the ranks. But they all also have to do physical training. They all have a PT test they have to pass too.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different things that they have to do. Also in the summertime, there are camps that they can go to.
Neat. Okay.
Then there's quite a few. And then they have the National Cadet Special Activities, which would include maybe going to Air Force Base and work with the engineers, going to one of the Civil Air Patrol training areas and learning how to fly and solo. It does not get them a pilot's license. It just gets them very familiar and ahead of the game if they want to go on to get their private pilot's license. There's a tremendous number of activities, going to what they call a Blue Beret and going to Oshkosh, which is the world's largest fly-in in Oshkosh, and helping with marshaling the airplanes and things of that nature. So there's a tremendous number of opportunities for them. Not only that, if they need financial assistance, they can request subsistence to help them to buy additional uniform and also to pay tuition to go to some of these camps. Most of them are somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 to $800, depending on
On where they are and how they have to get there.
Right.
And I noticed Ella has on a uniform, so which you look very nice in, young lady. And I've seen you in your uniform before. But do all the cadets then have uniforms?
Yes, ma'am. We have a supply room, and we try to provide to the cadets as many items as we can. Now, once they make their first rank of airman, they get a $100 voucher where they can go online to Vanguard Mill and order additional uniform items. We try to provide them with whatever we have, whether it's their dress blue uniforms or their ABUs or BDUs, and boots and shoes, whatever we can provide them with that we have will fit them. And we kind of rotate it around. If you leave the unit, we request that you give it back.
And I think that's a great idea. And I had a question, and now it's just completely gone out of my mind because, I know what it was. So if we stay in the Civil Air Patrol, can that lead us into the Air Force?
Yes, ma'am. When the Air Force Academy started in 1955, the first class, 10% of them had been Civil Air Patrol members. And it's looked upon favorably by the Academy. Also, if you reach a certain rank, which is in the Civil Air Patrol, if you go enlisted into one of the military branches, it gives you the opportunity not to have rank when you go to basic training, but to get paid more.
Oh, wow.
So you could maybe have 3 pay grades higher than what the rest of the people are who are in basic training, which can amount to quite a bit of money.
How neat. And so now, let me do you go into the high schools and talk to the kids, or how do you get the word out about
We
this?
have been into the high schools,
Okay.
and we've been to activities for the homeschool students also.
Okay.
We try to go out and speak to different organizations. We participate at the Y at their family activities every year, which by this last Y activity, we got a family of 3 come in and want to join.
Wow.
So we try to get out in the community as much as we can. We also have a pancake breakfast.
Yes, because I wanted to. That's the very first thing I thought about when Lynn was in the shop the other day, and I said, "Tell me about this breakfast that you all have." So, tell everybody about this.
Well, we have to provide our own funds, pay our own electric bills, and pay for any activities that we do. And so, as a fundraiser, we have a pancake breakfast every third Saturday out at the Cleveland Airport from 8 to 10:30, really. And it's like 3 pancakes, scrambled eggs, sausage, and whatever you want to drink. And it's only $5.
And you
it
can't
helps.
beat that price.
So it's a fly-in, drive-in activity. So if you live in town, you want to go to breakfast someplace, it's a great breakfast. And depending on what time of the year it is and the weather, we've had from a handful of different airplanes to 60 airplanes come in at one time. And it's if you've ever been out to the airport, it's up on the 2nd floor. It overlooks the apron. You can see all the different airplanes, so it's very pretty.
It is, and if you haven't been to our airport, folks, you need to go out there and see it because it is now the front door of our community, and it's a beautiful facility. I'm just so proud of it. I think it's great. So Ella, breakfast.
I do not actually.
Okay. Well, so what do the cadets do for this? Do you all serve the breakfast, or are you just there greeting, or?
Well, we do a bunch of different stuff. We've
Okay.
got one person who takes the money.
Okay.
We have people who do bring the food to you, bring your drinks to you, just walk around, ask if you need anything. But at the beginning, most of the time, the cadets set up. We've got signs throughout the airport. We've got one by the road. We get out extra chairs because most of the time we do need them.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I really am, because I don't want this. I don't want Civil Air Patrol or your breakfast to be the best kept secret in Bradley County, because it is open to the public, and you all do need funding.
Yes, ma'am, we do. This year, we have been fortunate enough to have enough money. We took them on a Saturday morning trip over to Tullahoma to the Beechcraft Museum. They had a really good time. You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yes. I did.
We try to get a lot of things going for them. We bought them 2-stage rockets to build and put together. The Air Force also provides us with different STEM kits. And the one thing is that the educators in Bradley County are missing out on is the Civil Air Patrol Aerospace Education Program, which they can join for $35, and they can apply for grants, they can attend summer activities, and they can also apply for STEM kits, which can be a robot, to, a telescope, different types of activities.
And you see, as a school board member, I'm writing that down right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Cleveland High School has a Air Force Junior ROTC.
Yes, ma'am.
And then they also have this new,
Aviation program.
yes, they have an aviation program where they have a airplane simulator. And so, do you all work with them at all?
Not currently. They've just started up. I've got 3 of the students in my squadron are
Great.
in the aviation program. The cadets, let me mention, and she has been up 3 times and flown the plane. The cadets are allowed to have 5 powered flights, and one of the planes, one of the CAP pilots takes them up. They get them up to about 3,000 feet, turn over the controls, and let them fly.
And how did that go?
Well, I didn't crash.
That's good.
I'm still here.
That's very good. That is very good. And I am so appreciative of y'all coming on today. I saw Linda Monday and I said, let's do something. I want to talk about the Civil Air Patrol. And I didn't realize 1941. Awesome. And I said, and what do these cadets do? So she said she thought she could have a cadet with her today. So thank you all so much. Now, how do they give us a way to reach you all if anybody's interested? Is there a website? Is there a phone number? What do we need to do?
They can go to civalairpatrol.com. They can come on Tuesday at 6:30 and visit at 245 Sequoia Road, Northwest. And my number is on the website.
Okay, on the
So-
website. And when they go to civalairpatrol.com, they would need to put Cleveland, Tennessee or Bradley County in there so it'll show up
Right.
your activities and where you all are.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all so much for being on with me today. I appreciate
You're
it. Great
quite
to see you,
welcome.
Linda.
Good to see you.
And Ella, thank you. It's nice meeting you. So hopefully we'll get you some recruits.
Good.
I think I'm too old, but for the cadets. I'm
No,
too
you're,
old- I'm
no,
old
you're
for the
not too old to be a
cadets.
senior member.
But I'm too old for the cadets. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. Now, you know what I always say, watch our commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills. And I'll be back with an author to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the writing community of Cleveland, Tennessee. So don't go away. I'll be right back.